Good afternoon. This is Shawn O'Connor, founder and CEO of Stratus Prep, and I am so excited to be here with all of our good friends at Beat the GMAT to present this webinar. Don't click submit until you see this webinar, 5 must-haves for your MBA application. So as always, if you have any questions at any point throughout the webinar, please go ahead and type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar toolbar, and then I will go ahead and review those questions as they come in and go from there. Great. So we will get started without further ado. So here is our agenda for today. So first I will start with some introductions. So I'll introduce myself for those of you who don't know me, and I'll introduce Stratus Prep. And then we'll talk a little bit about what business schools are looking for. And then I will give you 3 or 4 things of mention. They didn't make my top 5 list of must-haves for your MBA application, but they are things that we definitely need to be paying attention to. Then we'll get into my top 5 must-haves for your MBA application success. And then I have a couple of key takeaways and a special partnership offer only for our friends here at Beat the GMAT. So for those of you who haven't been to one of my webinars before, my name is Shawn O'Connor. I am the founder and CEO of Stratus Prep. Before starting Stratus Prep, I attended Harvard, where I did both my JD and my MBA, both with honors. I got a 680 on the GMAT, and also worked at McKinsey & Company and Lehman Brothers. I am the author of the Forbes column, The Launching Pad, which is about MBA admissions. And I frequently contribute to the Wall Street Journal, Fortune, the Financial Times, Business Week, CNN Money, among many others. So that's a little bit about me. I've been running Stratus Prep since I founded it in 2006 and have loved every minute of the journey. So what does Stratus Prep do? We basically work in 2 fundamental areas. So we have MBA admissions counseling, and we have GMAT prep. And so in terms of GMAT prep, we have the most qualified tutors anywhere in the world. We are the only company where all of our tutors have scored 770 or higher, which is the top 1% on the GMAT. They've also all graduated from top 5 programs, including HBS. They are all full-time tutors. You're not going to find that anywhere else. And they all have at least 2 years of teaching experience. So they're not only great at the test, but they're great at teaching the test. And it's for that reason that 80% of our students, even those starting in the 400 and 500s, end up scoring 700 or higher on their real exam. I think it's been something like 5 or 6 of the last couple of people that we've had to take the test in a row, for the last 5 or 6 in a row, have scored 740 or higher. It's been absolutely exceptional. And we also do MBA admissions counseling. And so for MBA admissions counseling, you have a team of experts that's going to make sure that you are very best positioned for success in applying to business school. So you'll have your MBA admissions counselor, and all of our counselors have graduated from top 5 MBA programs. And they all have experience reading and interviewing applicants at top 5 MBA schools as well, and have at least 2 years of successful MBA application coaching experience. So you'll have your counselor, and all of our counselors are full-time, and they are working with about, somewhere around, 5 to 10 students per round. So, and they're working evenings, weekends, so you'll have plenty of availability, unlimited hours with your counselor. But then you'll also benefit from 3 other experts who will be a part of your team. So you'll have school-specific essay readers, and those school-specific essay readers have all most of them are former AdComs from the schools themselves. So, before you submit to Wharton, have a Wharton former AdCom who used to be on the committee a year or 2 ago read your application. It is an incredible advantage. We also have professional editors who all have masters or PhDs in English, and then you'll have strategic input from me. So I'll do 3 check-ins throughout the process. And so my check-ins will be to go over the to go over the essay, to go over the strategy first. So we'll do a conference call to go over your marketing strategy, how you're going to sell yourself to the schools. And then I'll also provide feedback, written feedback on your essay outlines, and then I will do your final mock interview. This is perhaps my favorite slide. The tiny little blue bars at the bottom are your chances of getting into these schools if you apply on your own. So for example, if you apply to HBS on your own, you have about a 12% chance of acceptance. The large orange bars are your chances of acceptance if you work with Stratus Prep. And so historically, going all the way back to 2006, we have a 60% success rate at HBS. Stanford, apply on your own, it's about a 6 or 7% chance. Work with Stratus Prep, it's about a 40% chance. In fact, for clients who apply to 3 or more schools with Stratus Prep, we have a 99% success rate over the last 8 years. In addition, we've helped our applicants earn more than $15 million in unsolicited merit-based financial aid. Okay? So that's a little bit about Stratus Prep and the Stratus Prep track record. We work with people all over the world. Last year it was about 32 countries and 39 U.S. states. This year it's going to be over 50 countries. All right, so who are you really competing against when you submit your MBA application? A lot of people think they're competing against the entire pool, but that's really not accurate. You are competing against other people who are similar to you, who are in the same geography, who are in the same industry, who are in the same function, and even who come from the same gender. So women really compete only primarily against other women and men against other men. So if you're a male in finance in New York City, you're competing against other males in finance in New York City for the coveted spots that are reserved for males from New York City in finance. If you're a woman in Rio de Janeiro in marketing, you're competing against other women from Latin America who are in marketing. Okay, if you are a woman in operations in Europe, you're competing against other women in operations in Europe. So what do the business schools look for? They sort of group your candidacy into 3 different buckets. First, they want to understand your vital stats. What's your GMAT score? Now, this is going to be more or less important at different schools. HBS and Stanford, for example, they don't care that much about the GMAT score. Other schools care a lot about the GMAT score, like Wharton. They especially care about your your quant GMAT score, so they want to see 48, 49 or higher. And then what's your undergraduate GPA? Some schools like MIT and Wharton don't care so much. Other schools like Harvard and Stanford, they care a lot. Then how much work experience do you have? And more and more we're seeing students with 2, 3, 4 years of work experience getting admitted. You can certainly apply with 5, 6, 7 years of experience, but it's easier to get in these days with 2, 3, 4 years of experience. The leadership positions that you have at work and in your extracurricular activities, those are going to be really important. For those of you applying next year, one of the things you want to do over the next 8 or 9 or 10 months is to really enhance those leadership positions that you have both at work and in extracurricular activities. And this is something we work with a lot of people on. We call it profile development, helping you to have the very best profile in the months leading up to when you'll actually start work on the application. But then the schools also care a lot about who are you? What is your unique personal story? What are your greatest accomplishments? What are your greatest setbacks? What diverse perspectives do you bring to the class? So they really want to understand all of this deeply. And next, why do you want to go to business school? Why do you need an MBA? Why do you need it now? Why do you need it from our particular school or program? What are your unique contributions? So those are all, critical components of what the business school is looking for. They really want to understand your vital stats, understand who you are, and then they really want to know why you have to attend their specific school in particular. So to get into these top schools, first you need to dedicate enough time to do well on the GMAT, to do well on the essays, to prepare your recommenders. And you can't skip steps. You need to be really introspective. Okay? So before you start writing the application essays, you want to go back and brainstorm about your life. Who are you? How do your experiences differentiate you from other people who are similar? Often it's those personal experiences that will really set you apart. How do you customize every part of the application to each individual school, which is absolutely exceptional? And then I think it would be crazy not to use determined, committed experts to help review and edit your personal statements at every step along the way. Next, of mention. So these are not things that have made my top 5 must-haves for application success, but they are critical. So your academic performance, which may be GPA at Harvard and Stanford, at Wharton or MIT or Columbia, it's more about the GMAT. They're also going to want to see a solid work history, which means that you've had impact. Okay, you haven't just coasted along, you've had impact, you've actually changed results. You have been promoted in recognition of your impact. You've acted as an intrapreneur or an entrepreneur by being innovative. And they also want to see that you have international experience. And that international experience, it has to be more than just study abroad. It could be that you worked abroad, or maybe you worked on a cross-cultural team based here at home. It could be an extensive service project, but study abroad, personal travel, that is not going to be enough to impress them in terms of your international experience. So now we come to my first of our 5 must-haves for admission success. You need to demonstrate really deep commitment and leadership of 1 or 2 extracurricular activities. And fundraising, my friends, is not going to be enough. So if you're on the board of an organization, but all you do is fundraise for that organization, that isn't going to cut it. We need to show high-level impact. Okay, high-level impact. How do you really change the conversation? How do you really drive the kind of success that your company is looking for? That in this case, a nonprofit or community organization is looking for. They want to see that you are a leader who can demonstrate strategic thinking. So it's not just fundraising. It's about having impact. It's about demonstrating strategic thinking and strategic leadership. Okay, this is absolutely essential. If you don't have this, it's going to be very difficult to get in. In fact, we already have many applicants who are applying next year, and we're working with them right now to really solidify these experiences. Number 2, you have to have demonstrated leadership. Okay, this isn't just required for Harvard. All of the schools are going to want to see this, and there's many different ways that you can demonstrate leadership. It could be through athletics. It could be through the military. It could be through student government, okay? But you have to demonstrate that you are a leader. You are someone who can take on responsibility and be empowered and drive results. Demonstrated leadership, okay? So we know we need to be a leader. We know we need to have 1 or 2 extracurricular activities where we have major strategic impact. It's also absolutely essential that you come up with a clear and attainable short and long-term goal that will really contribute significantly to society. So you have to both be doing well financially and doing good. Okay, it's not going to be enough just to do good. Okay, because today we don't have time for just philanthropy. We need social enterprise that's self-sustaining. But you have to be, doing well and doing good, and you have to have a unique value proposition, a unique, clear, and attainable strategy that you're going to deploy in terms of your short and long-term goals in order to contribute significantly to society around you. So think of Apple, right? Apple has a clear short and long-term strategy. They make a lot of money, but they also contribute significantly to society. Now we can all FaceTime with our friends halfway around the world. All right, number 4, resumes and references. You need references that don't just say you're wonderful, but demonstrate through clear-cut examples that you are among the strongest of your peers. So I need your recommenders not just to say you're the best analyst they ever work with or you're in the top 1% of people they've ever supervised. I need them to give examples of leadership, examples of entrepreneurship, examples of analytical rigor, examples of communication savvy. We also need a resume that demonstrates a track record of success, and that those results, they need to be demonstrated through both quantitative evidence, where we can demonstrate you increase sales by $1 million or decrease costs by 5%, but also qualitative evidence of how you've led teams or inspired people or mentored others. So you really need specificity in these references and resume if you want to be successful. Finally, number 5, you need a clear reason that you have to go to an MBA program this year. You've got to talk about more than just technical skills. No top 10 MBA program is going to take you because you need to develop skills in how to build a discounted cash flow model. You can learn that on Coursera. You really need to demonstrate, I need the entrepreneurship skills, I need the leadership skills. A top 5, top 3, top 10 school is essential. It is necessary. It is critical for what I want to achieve. I cannot become the leader that I want to become without that training that I'm going to receive, the cross-functional training, the leadership development, the global exposure that only these top schools can provide. And now here is my bonus must-have. I think it would be crazy to apply to business school without the help of a professional. 57% of students from the top 10 schools who were admitted to and attending the top 10 schools, 57% admitted that they used a graduate school admissions consultant. And they admitted this to the school themselves, okay? Now, certainly there's going to be some underreporting, right? There are some people who are never going to admit to the schools that they used a professional MBA admissions consultant. So it's probably more like 70 or 80% of students who get into these schools have used a professional consultant. And the real benefit to using a professional consultant is you go through this process once. We help hundreds of students every year, so we've helped thousands of students over the course of our career. And so we really know what the schools are looking for, how to best position you, and that's going to be dramatically important. So this is a little bit about our admissions counseling process. First, we go through the introspection. We determine your strengths and weaknesses, figure out how we can fill in those gaps. Then we go through a school selection process where we give you inside information on each of the schools. Then we go through and develop essay topics and then essay outlines for you. Then we review and edit the essays, the short answers, the resume as many times as necessary. We help you choose the recommenders and then coach them, and if they're comfortable, we even give them feedback to make sure you're getting the very best possible letters of recommendation. Then we prepare you for both live and video interviews. As you may know, schools like Kellogg have been doing a lot of video interviews lately. We'll give you a game plan if you're waitlisted, and we also make sure to maximize your financial aid award through negotiations. Here are some case studies from last year. So you see Rob with a 3.7 and a 700. Good numbers, not great numbers. He was admitted with our help to Stanford. Alex, pretty low numbers, 670 on the GMAT, 4 years of finance experience. Last year he was admitted to both HBS and Columbia with our help. Our good friend Victor, with only a 3.0 and a 670, he got into HBS as a former consultant and entrepreneur. And finally, Jennifer, you may have heard about her. She got into Wharton with just a 2.7 and a 720. She did do well on the quant part of the GMAT, which is very important to Wharton. So what are my key takeaways? First, recognize the difficulty of getting into top business schools. This has been the toughest year on record. So if you're applying in round 2, you really need to get started now if you want to be successful. Next, budget enough time. Be really prepared, okay? So make sure that you budget enough time, that you're prepared, you know what you need to do. Then know your target, okay? Write what the admissions committee is looking for, okay? So, you have to know the different schools and what they're looking for so that you can give them what it is that they are looking for, okay? And then finally, I think it would be crazy not to work with seasoned experts like the team at Stratus Prep to make sure that you are going to have the very best applications anywhere in the world. So please go ahead and submit your questions at this point in the question box in the GoToWebinar toolbar. So please go ahead and submit any questions that you have. This is our exclusive partnership offer for those of you who joined us on the webinar today. We are offering a complimentary 30-minute consultation with me, Shawn O'Connor, founder and CEO of Stratus Prep. If you have not had one before, if you've already had one, unfortunately, we cannot give you multiple free consultations. But you can sign up for the consult by emailing consult@stratusprep.com, and we will immediately get you set up with a 30-minute consultation. If you enroll in a 3-school package, okay, at the regular price before November 25th at midnight, we will give you 2 schools for free. So if you buy a 3-school package, we will give you a 5-school package at no additional cost. And if you buy a 4-school package, okay, at the full price, we will give you 7 schools total, 3 free schools. And the discount codes are BTG 5 for 3 and BTG 7 for 4. Okay, so you can use those online to be able to get the appropriate discounts on your packages. These offers are good only until November 25th at midnight. And remember, at Stratus Prep, references are always available. We believe in complete transparency here at Stratus Prep. We'll give you our success rates at every school, and we'll provide you with references. You can check out testimonials on our website, www.stratusprep.com. You can call and speak with a member of our staff at 212-307-1788. They'll be more than happy to assist you in every way that you need. All right. Great. So there is a question here. All right. Okay. What are the extracurricular activities that are mainly given much importance? So they really want to see community leadership, community service. Those are what is, those are what are most important in terms of your profile. So they want to see, leadership, whether it's on the board of a nonprofit or the junior board of a nonprofit, but it's really community-driven activities, service-driven activities that will make you most successful. Next, can I make the R2 deadlines this year starting now, or should I target next year? No, you absolutely can make the R2 deadlines starting now. Now, we don't have a ton of time, so you would want to get started very soon. But you absolutely can make the R2 deadlines if you get started right now. Okay, we are having people signing up all the time for round 2. Do you have any expertise with part-time programs, or do you stick with full-time programs only? Nope, we have a lot of experience with both part-time programs and executive programs, and in fact, we even have AdComs who've been on the part-time AdCom and the exec ed AdCom, as well as folks who've been on the regular AdCom. I want to apply in round 2 this year, and my GMAT exam is on the 3rd of December. Do you think it would be able to make an impressive application with the help of Stratus Prep? Absolutely. But we should get started on your application before you take the GMAT, because if not, you're going to leave us only 4 weeks. We really need those full 6 weeks. We won't disturb your GMAT studying, but we do need to get certain things done, especially like recommenders teed up. We can't wait with the holidays and everything until December 3rd. So, go ahead and get signed up for a free consultation with us, and we will be more than happy to assist with that. I have 5 years of work experience, split between 3 jobs in consulting, private equity, and corporate finance, but I have not been promoted. Is this a huge defect in my application? I have leadership experience, but I haven't shown upward progression. Yeah, I think it is a bit of an issue, but I think that this is where recommenders can be really helpful. That is something that, we would work with you on, is how the recommenders can frame this to show that you really are a superstar. What is the best way to format a "Who are you" essay? I'm finding the traditional chronology has a lot of repetition and was advised to try themes. Yes, we would definitely suggest that you try a theme. That's something that we do. We'll do magazine style, we'll do PowerPoints, we'll do all different types of things to make it more creative. So I definitely agree with that. When they ask for a list of extracurriculars, are you to include any description or just a list? It'll usually specify, but if it doesn't, I would include a very brief description. Does NGO work experience count? Well, if you're working in an NGO and that's your full-time job, then that counts as work experience. It does not count as service or extracurricular experience, which needs to be something you're doing as a volunteer outside of your regular work experience. Okay. Great. All right, so I think that is all of the questions. There was a current client who had sent in a question, but we'll reply to you separately just via email. What about Masters in Management programs? Is it a good choice to go for? Do you provide assistance for these too? Yeah, so we do provide assistance with Masters of Management programs, and I think that they can be a great program depending on what exactly you're looking for. So if you are looking for if you are looking for getting into the workforce, having a little extra business experience, that is something that, they will definitely help with. But, if you really want to get the full MBA, then you'll want to do that. Okay. And then somebody said, I'm just so happy that I'm working with you, Dan Carroll, as my counselor, and I can't say thank you enough. Well, thanks so much for that. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Can I use 2 current supervisors? Yeah, but we want to make sure they're not repetitive. So, we'd want to be careful about that they're not saying the same things, but you definitely can do that. Can I mention the names of books in my essays or SOP that have really helped me to understand business and to grow personally? Yes, you can. It's not highly recommended, but it is something that you can do. But I would not recommend that. I would try to be more personal. If I can only start in December, can I still apply in round 2? Yep. I mean, as long as we have 4 weeks before the deadline, we will definitely make sure to get your application complete in a perfect place on time. Okay. Well, I think that was all the questions that we had. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Remember our exclusive partnership offer. So please go ahead and email us at consult@stratusprep.com if you'd like to have a free 30-minute consultation with me. Also remember that if you enroll in 3 schools at the full price, you will get 2 schools for free, which would be for a total of 5 schools. If you enroll in 4 schools, you'll get 3 schools for free for a total of 7. This offer is only good with the BTG 5 for 3 or 7 for 4 codes, and it is only good until November 25th at midnight. Remember that also references are always available. So this, I just had another question come in. Let's see here. Can I give 1 colleague and 1 former supervisor? No, they really don't want colleagues as recommenders. I'm taking a recommendation from my CTO at work. I work indirectly with him, but I've discussed new ideas with him for new business units. Is it okay to have a recommendation from a super boss who has agreed? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Somebody asked, what is the price for 3 schools? It's $6,250 US, so $6,250. So that would give you the 3-school package, which would give you 2 free schools. So you'd be paying $6,250 for what normally costs $87.50, which is the normal price for the 5-school package. I've had a broken employment history due to a medical condition. Would you ever advise disclosing this? Absolutely. We definitely would want to disclose this. You don't have to get into the details of the medical condition, but yes, we absolutely would want you to disclose this so that the schools know and can understand, because if not, then they're going to think you just sort of slacked off. What kind of hobbies should I put in my resume? Well, with the hobbies, I think it should be things you're personally passionate about, whether that's sports or culture or cuisine. Those are probably the 3 biggest areas. Do you and your counselors help with the video essay questions? We absolutely do. That is included as a part of our process. So we do absolutely help with that. Okay. For studying entrepreneurship in the U.S., can network marketing experience be mentioned? Yeah,